Yep.
Where are we going, buddy?
So, today is our first day of the trip, and so we will be going, as you will see in the video, we are headed, our first stop is Hagerstown, Maryland.
We're going to Hagerstown, Maryland for the night. It is currently 8:38 in the morning here in Massachusetts. 363 or so miles to drive today. And that's going to be our home for the night. So jump in, buckle up, here we go.
Have fun.
There you see our map. We're traveling from central Massachusetts to Hagerstown, Maryland. Day one of this 2023 stadium tour. Come along. We are leaving our hometown here and getting on to I-90 West in Worcester, Massachusetts. This is the Mass Pike as we know it. We're not going to be on it for very long, but the trip starts here, and you can see the construction. And those of you that saw my video last year when I went to Cincinnati, the construction was in the same exact place 1 year ago, and it still looks exactly the same on that on-ramp there, merging onto I-90 West in Worcester, Massachusetts. All right, so we move from there, and we're going to head through Connecticut, through New York State, through Pennsylvania, finally into Maryland. And it was a Friday afternoon, and my biggest concern was getting out past the New York City metropolitan area at a reasonable time. And we were making good time here at the beginning, and you can see I'm headed towards Connecticut here. I'm in Charlton, Massachusetts, merging onto I-84 West. We rode I-84 West all the way to Scranton, Pennsylvania, before we headed south. This was to avoid New York City at all costs, but it's always a test of time on Fridays to get across the Hudson River. Anytime you're traveling south from New England, you want to get across that Hudson River as soon as possible. I was trying to avoid New York City, like I said, and avoid the George Washington Bridge, which is just a nightmare on any day of the week, but especially on Friday afternoons. So my goal was to get across the Hudson River before rush hour. Welcome to Connecticut, first state that we have entered, other than the one we live in, obviously. And you'll see throughout the videos that Romero is carrying a map of the United States, in which he's going to scratch all the states he's crossed into for the first time. Here's Romero at the rest stop in Willington, and this is downtown Hartford, Connecticut, on I-84 West, going underneath the parking lot there. And we found out this winter that parking lot serves the Hartford Civic Center, whatever they call it now for sponsorship reasons. But we saw UConn basketball play there this winter and parked right above I-84 there. Romero will be scratching states when he enters them for the first time. Like I said, you'll see that later on in the video, in the story. Here's Romero in Stormville, New York. Now, we've been to New York and Connecticut many, many times, so he won't be scratching those states off. He scratched them earlier in a video that you can find on his channel, and I will post a link to his channel in the movie notes. Here we're crossing into New York State as we're approaching the Hudson River, and that is a good look at the Hudson Valley there. And now we're approaching, I believe, the Newburgh Beacon Bridge, and we're going to be crossing the Hudson River at a very good time. There's the bridge. We're entering it now. We would cross the bridge at about 12:30 p.m. local time, which is ahead of schedule. And this was good because we have a long way to go. We're at about the halfway point here. And again, this could have become a nightmare if we got into traffic and got into some kind of rush hour waiting to cross the Hudson River. There's only so many points of crossing the river, and I find that this bridge is one of the least busy, other than taking the Cuomo Bridge or the George Washington, like I said, or having to go way north of here to the Castleton-on-Hudson Bridge. That was too far out of the way, so that's why I selected the Newburgh Beacon Bridge here, and we're crossing the massive Hudson River, and the second part of our journey to Maryland can now commence, and it's getting to be about lunchtime, so we're going to start looking and talking about where we're going to go for lunch. Spoiler alert, we end up going to a McDonald's, but not for quite a while. So sit back and enjoy the rest of the ride, and we'll talk to you again very, very soon in Pennsylvania. Entering Pennsylvania, the Keystone State, and the beautiful Poconos Mountains there in front. And it was a beautiful, beautiful ride through the Poconos on our way to Scranton before we head south to Maryland. All right,
Okay, so we are here in Pittston, Pennsylvania. We just stopped for lunch. It was good, and we are on our way to our hotel. About
3 hours to go.
3 hours to go. Hope you enjoy the rest of the ride.
Finally, after a long day of driving, and I was not feeling good on this day, let me tell you. I hardly slept the night before. This felt like the longest drive ever, but finally we arrive in Maryland, and we know now that our hotel is not very far, and I am looking forward to being done for the day.
Okay, so we are about to leave Hagerstown and head towards Charlotte.
Where are we?
We are currently in Hagerstown, but we're about to
Where's
leave
Hagerstown?
Maryland.
We're in Maryland, okay.
About to leave. It's like 8:25 in the morning, so we're got some good sleep.
And where are we going now?
And we're headed to Charlotte.
All right, 6 hours or so?
Yep, about 6 hours. We're like halfway there, and we're like halfway there. Our hotel is halfway there. Yeah.
All righty, we'll see you guys in Charlotte.
Yep.
So match day, and we actually got out early that morning. We got out on time. 8:30 in the morning, we were on the road. Romero wanted a little impromptu photo shoot. There's our map. You could see 400 plus miles to go. And while I can navigate my way around the United States of America, Our hotel was located in a shopping mall parking lot, and I cannot navigate through the shopping mall. As you can see here, I am driving in circles. The GPS is telling me to turn where there's no road, and I'm looking to find my way out of this parking lot finally. Get out there, get back onto the major roadways, and make my way to I-81 south towards Virginia. And now, in what was actually a big surprise to us, because I didn't look at my map very closely before leaving that morning, or when I even drew up the map, but we get a surprise arrival in the state of West Virginia. This was not something we were expecting. Very excited to see that when we saw the West Virginia sign. Naturally, I was going to have to pull into the Welcome Center at the next exit, and Romero is going to get to scratch the first new state off his map since his YouTube video where he scratched all the states that he had been to before this trip began. And here comes the Welcome Center right up here on the right, and check this out.
Okay, and here we are in Falling Waters, West Virginia. So we had no clue that we were crossing through West Virginia, but here we are. Now, since we've been here, it's time to scratch it off the map. That one up there too. Okay.
Here we are.
So here we are.
Now on to Charlotte.
Now on to Charlotte.
Roanoke, and now through Salem. We make our way through Virginia, through the Blue Ridge Mountains, and I do have to say, of the entire first 2 days of driving, this was the most beautiful part of the drive. The Blue Ridge Mountains were absolutely gorgeous. It was a pleasure to drive through, really. It was a couple hours of just absolute nature and beauty as we went up and down and around these mountains, and you can see there just the size of them off in the horizon, and it was one of the most impressive landscapes, one of the most impressive just sights to behold on these first 2 days of driving. I totally was not expecting such a nice drive through these mountains, and I'm glad we took the route that we did and that we got to see this, as this made it all worthwhile despite the reduced speed limits down from 70 to 55 in a lot of zones due to road work, which Romero was happy to see. Romero really enjoys the road work and captured a lot of footage. You can see the construction signs there, the orange signs saying that we're entering a work zone. That had him gleeful, to say the least, had me a little bit frustrated. I wanted to step on it and make our way to North Carolina quicker, but we drove through and really enjoyed this drive a lot. The 7 hours or so really flew by on day 2, not like on day 1. So enjoy the view as we continue to make our way south here on I-81.
Area.
Yeah.
How far is the North Carolina state line?
I don't know. I haven't seen any signs yet to tell me. If we were to stay on this road, it's 125 miles, about 2 hours away. But we're not staying on this road. Even though we have the entire north-south length of the state to go, we are now in the Tar Heel State. We are in North Carolina, traveling south on I-77, headed towards Charlotte, and Romero is getting fired up here. The rest stop, however, was closed. We were looking to take a break from our drive, unable to do that. Had to drive another 50 miles before we found an open rest area. Now you're seeing here, and Romero did not cross North Carolina off his list, or scratch it off his map, I should say, because he had already done that because we were there 1 year ago. If you want to see that video, it is in Romero's feed on his YouTube channel. Again, the link will be in the show notes. Now you see we're arriving. We're on the outskirts here. We can see in the vast horizon, you can see the skyline of downtown Charlotte, North Carolina, the Queen City. Tonight's match is a battle of the both Queen cities, Cincinnati versus Charlotte. They are both cities that claim to be the Queen City for different reasons. And we are getting close to the time where I want to head to the stadium as well. So I am eager to get off of the interstate here and get to our hotel. We stayed at the Wyndham by Wingate Airport Hotel on I-77 in Charlotte. And I have nothing but the biggest praise to give that hotel. Although when we pass it momentarily, you'll see there was some construction going on. There was a construction fence up. Maybe optically it wasn't the best to look at, but the service, the comfort was phenomenal, especially for what I paid for it. I could not have been any happier. The Wingate by Wyndham in Charlotte. near the Charlotte airport is going to be our base anytime we go to Charlotte going forward. This is, we agreed, where we're going to be staying the next time. We had that good of an experience, but right now I'm looking to get into my room, get changed, get ready for the match, and head downtown. Here I'm getting off of the interstate. I'm getting onto Tyvola Road in Charlotte, North Carolina, and headed for the Wingate. Like I said, it is just around this bend here, just around this off-ramp. Can't wait to get myself ready and get myself downtown. We weren't sure where we were going to park yet. We weren't sure how that was going to go. We weren't sure what kind of traffic we were going to see trying to get into the city. Yes, the GPS told us we were 8 minutes from Bank of America Stadium, but I didn't want to take any chances. Parking's been an issue. Those of you that subscribe to the channel, those of you that watched last year's videos, no, parking was an issue at one match. I ended up not even attending the match due to it, so I did not want that to happen again. So we are moving quickly, and I am trying to get downtown as soon as possible. You see the Wingate there on your left, that white building with the green signage. I loved it. Like I said, the location couldn't be better. Very close to downtown, right off the interstate, but away enough from downtown that you can easily park your own vehicle. You don't have to worry about paying for valet parking. You don't have to worry about where your car is going to spend the night when you're in the hotel like you would downtown. And we have arrived. The only thing left to do is change clothes and head to the stadium. 40 to 45 minutes later, here we are getting off of 77. Once again, we're heading downtown, and you will see Bank of America Stadium appear very shortly on the left-hand side of your screen. There it is. You can start to see it now. There is the stadium. We're heading into downtown. Like I said, an absolute beautiful drive into a phenomenal-looking city. And again, I used to think that the NFL stadiums were a detriment to Major League Soccer. I realize that's not always the case. You look at Bank of America Stadium, you look at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, you look at Lumen Field. They are all located in great locations, and it's such a nice drive into the stadium. I realize that everything just makes Gillette Stadium look horrible. And I was saying this to Romero in the car as we were driving, that it's not the NFL Stadium that's the problem with the New England Revolution. It's Gillette Stadium. That's the problem with Gillette Stadium. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's artificial. It's plastic. It's suburban. This, on the other hand, I was blown away. This is like driving into the center of a modern, a cosmopolitan city. I mean, you hear several different languages walking the streets. It was a very safe-feeling city, very clean city. You can eat off of these sidewalks, and there are some of the Charlotte FC fans already starting to make their way to the stadium, and I'm excited because that means I'm going in the right direction, and now I'm ready to park just about anywhere. I see a garage coming up on the left, and I get a little surprised when I pull up to it once all of these people cross the road here. The match day ambiance and environment in Charlotte is just fantastic. Again, of course, when you compare anything to Gillette Stadium, I'm sorry, but everything seems phenomenal that I have experienced in comparison. And I'm gonna try to park here and find out very quickly that this one is for residents only. I start pulling in and I see that open sign there, but then I see residents only. Sorry about that. I'm a Massachusetts driver, please forgive me. And I'll go up the street just a little bit further, and I find an old man taking something called cash. Yes, I find cash. The garage looking for cash. Here it is. We're going right there. How's it going? All right, thank you. Thanks for that. Thank you. Have a good night.
No, it's cash only.
Because that's their rules, and I like it. It's easy that way. I gotta know where the heck I am. But so here we are. We're in the parking garage now, and we are just a few blocks from Bank of America Stadium. It's game night. It's match night. The city is electric. Once we get out of the garage, we see there is a good number of traveling Cincinnati fans as well. And as viewers know, that is the team that I prefer in Major League Soccer as of late. That's been the team that's kind of caught my attention and caught my interest and kind of caught my passion in the last year or so since I visited their stadium. But tonight I'm going neutral, as I will say in the video, because this is Romero's night. This is Romero seeing his team play in their stadium. He's seen them before at Red Bull Arena. That's also available on the channel, but this time he's seeing them in their stadium. And I had exchanged messages with a very special person from Charlotte FC. Romero's gonna get a little surprise in this match, but we're gonna have to wait until next time to see that. That's because this first chapter is right here. This was the drive to Charlotte. Next time there'll be more. Make sure to subscribe to the PTV Media Network and Romero P Productions on YouTube, and follow the Twitter handles. They're at Mike Agostinho and at PTV_media. Same on Instagram. And I'll catch you next time here on the PTV Media Network. This has been Mr. Mike Agostinho signing off.